welcome back to another episode of Camp Confidence.
Conversations about confidence, self improvement, and success between two Filipino entrepreneurs on two different journeys.
I am Ayn Bernos, the founder of Morena the Label.
And I am Rizza LANA-SEBASTIAN, the founder and CEO of lana.ph and mink.ph.
For today's episode, we are talking about budgeting and money management. Medyo adult tayo today.
Yes, Adulting 101 with Ayin and Riza. Oo, very important to talaga. Kasi before, in my early 20s, I didn't really have much advice from people during the stage na parang yun pala
Mm-hmm.
yung pinaka-important na parang, shucks, you have to save, blah, blah, blah. And how I really wish I had resources and podcasts na nagturo sa akin about money, savings, and finances. So, eto na
It's
po.
weird, no? Like, in
Ang inyong mga
school,
ate.
bakit hindi tayo tinuruan nun in school?
Exactly. Yung
Na,
mga
na
basic.
talagang adult.
Right, right. Dapat may ganun na, no?
Ay, pag-aralan ko yung Pythagorean theorem,
Ay,
ganyan.
oo nga.
Pero hindi ko alam yung kung paano
Anong
mag-open
ambag
ng
to
bank
save?
account, ganyan. Yung mga
Anong best
ganun.
savings account? Or mga
Mm-hmm.
ganon.
Ayan, so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
But before we start our discussion, magkamustahan muna tayo. Let's start
Okay.
off with our wins of the week. How are you
Wins of the
doing?
week. Yes. Nung Monday, finally, nakalipat na kami ng office, nakapaglinis na kami. Oh my gosh. Nag-start na rin kami mag-operate sa office ngayon. And wala lang ang saya. Iba pala talaga kapag nasa office ka. Parang mas maluwag, yung working environments, parang wala sa,
Mm-hmm.
nagti-TikTok lang kami lagi, gano'n. Yung mga kabataan ko kasing
Ang saya.
staff, parang, "Oh, ma'am, sayaw ka." Gano'n. Ako naman si uto-uto, gano'n. So,
Yeah, nakita ko nga, ang ganda ng itsura on your
thank
Instagram
you.
stories. So
Thank
you
you.
have your shelves up and the products are out. And then
Mhm.
the beds. Yun din ba yun yung sa,
Yes,
yun
dun
yung
din.
furniture na inaayos mo a week ago?
Yes, yes, yun din, yun din. Do'n nagse-stay yung mga staff namin kasi yun nga, ayaw ko silang i-expose unnecessarily. So,
Mm-hmm. It's such a nice place. You should check out her Instagram kasi nag-update siya doon. So,
ah,
parang like, visual goals kind of thing.
aw, you
Yeah, it's
can
so
do it.
nice. I'm so
How
proud.
about you? Oh,
This week, productive ako this weekend.
woohoo.
I had a jam-packed weekend of webinars. So, I had one last Saturday about restarting. So, we had one with the Camp Confidence group, tsaka with the Elana Minerals group. So, ayan, parang lang kami, nag-feelings workshop. And
Love it.
then Sunday was really nice because I had a joint webinar with a financial and a wealth coach named Yani Moya.
Mhm.
So siya yung nag-arrange ng lahat. Tapos it was all about happiness and self-love.
Aw,
Favorite topic. Tapos we
yes.
had like 100 people in the Zoom webinar. Tapos they live streamed it on Facebook. Tapos wala lang na-amaze ako. Na-amaze ako kasi I'm used to doing events in real life. Tapos to see this come to life, like all the technical side of, executing webinars. Ang dami nilang ginagawa. Tapos it's so profesh.
I
Anyway, ang dami ko lang
know.
natutunan.
Ang galing, 'di ba? Tsaka yung back end
Mm-mm.
ng operations na yun, parang, oh my gosh, ang galing.
Ang bilis mag-adapt ng mga tao.
Oo,
Right?
sobra. So anyway, since I'm really excited about this topic as well, ano na, Gina tayo. Let's
Gina
dive right into
tayo.
the topic, budgeting and
And
money
money
management.
management. Ano
Ayan.
ang
So,
ating...
ikaw, Ayin, what do you think is your relationship with money noon and now?
So, like what we said earlier, ano nga, wala nga nagturo. Parang 'di ba, it's a taboo topic, I
Yeah.
think, in the Filipino culture, Filipino society. Parang we're taught not to ask about money, not to discuss money because it's rude. But at the same time, growing up, I was always thinking, well, how will I learn if school doesn't teach me this, and I don't get to talk about money with my peers or my mentors. So growing up, medyo yung relationship ko with money, parang I was scared of money
Mm-hmm.
kasi I didn't want to be seen as greedy or mukhang pera. Kasi 'di ba may ganong merong
Notion.
ganong notion for some reason na if you like money or if you like earning money, na oh, you must be all about money. So ako iniiwasan ko talaga 'yun. So because iniiwasan ko yun, hindi ko siya natutunan as much as I should have, I guess, especially in my early 20s. I'm in my mid 20s, so it's not like it's been a long time. So this is why actually I wanted to talk about this on the podcast, because I'm coming from a learner's perspective.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So these questions are more or less my questions as well.
Yeah.
So ayan, disclaimer sa lahat, ito yung background namin. We're
Yes po.
coming here with a learner's mindset.
Yeah, oo nga. And
Ikaw
we are not in
naman,
any way experts, by the
no,
way.
not experts at
Ano
all.
lang 'to, opinions. Opinions lang.
Opinions based on experience
Yes.
and what we want to learn so far.
Right.
What about your story?
Ako naman, yeah, since we grew up with a in a very traditional family na parang yun nga, money is evil, na tama rin yung sabi mo kanina na na masama kapag wino-worship mo yung money, etc., etc. And I associated it actually with, um, pero sa ibang perspective naman, I associated it with success.
Mm-hmm.
Success, status, na kapag may designer bag ka na, oh, you made it in life. Or if you have a two-door ref,
Oh
you
my
made it
gosh,
in life.
goals.
Ganon. Di ba? Tsaka parang you are accepted by the society kapag marami kang pera. But now, I can say I'm in my late 20s naman. Okay, sige na, 29, turning 30 na rin ako this year, this June.
Wow!
Yeah,
Uy,
so,
lapit na.
yes,
It's Gemini season.
love it. Yeah. So now I can say that I am using it as a tool to just be a good human being, to help
Mm-hmm.
others. And yun nga, kapag na-reach mo na yung ganong level, kasi na-try ko na rin na parang i-feed yung sarili ko with mahal na bags or shoes or mahal na damit. But it it never made me happy. It never made me feel na ay successful na ako dahil maganda na yung bag ko. Parang in my own definition of success, hindi siya ganon sa
Mm-hmm.
Bible ko, kumbaga. And siguro yung iba, I mean, iba yung sasabihin ng iba, but this is just me.
Yeah.
Material things as of now, I can assess na hindi, it really doesn't make me happy. It's the kind of relationships that I built using ano,
That
using the
tool.
resources I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yung mga taong natulungan natin, and yun nga, parang, yun siguro yung relationship ko sa money ngayon. Tool lang talaga siya to help people. Ayun.
Yeah. It enables us to
Yes.
make the things that we want to bring to life be
Mm-mm.
brought to life.
Right.
Now, okay, let's talk about the best financial advice we've ever been given. Since this is all gonna be maybe us giving advice, but what's your best advice na nakuha mo before?
Ako siguro very simple lang. My mom usually tells me na always use cash. Even if you have credit cards. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
if you can't pay it in cash, you probably can't afford it anyway.
Yeah.
So, although syempre marami ring tips and tricks in using credit card bills, pero I learned that the hard way. Swipe lang ng swipe lang ng swipe dati nung araw. Kasi
Mm-mm.
nga sabi ko nga na, yun nga, I associated great bags and great shoes with status, and parang, oh, I made it in life. But up until now, I'm still paying for that. So kids always use cash, unless you are smart enough to use a credit card. That time, hindi talaga ako smart enough to use a credit card. So, dapat pala pinakinggan ko yung mom ko na always use cash. So, yun.
Yeah, lalo na yung use money you already have. If you don't
Exactly.
already have it, don't spend it. Even like sa
Yes.
credit cards, yeah, you can use a credit card for points,
Mm.
ganyan, rebates, but then if you use it because you can't afford something yet and then gagamitin mo credit card mo assuming na you'll have the money later on, that's a dangerous mindset to have because you won't know months down the road, years down the road, nag-accumulate na and you never saw it coming.
Right, right.
Denix.
True.
Ah. Ako ano siguro, pero eto recently, lately ko na lang siya natutunan kasi parang ngayon lang ako nag-open up, learning about it. They say na you should always have an abundance mindset as opposed to
Yes.
a scarcity mindset. Kasi yun nga, parang for the longest time, even the way I talk about myself and I talk about money, it's like, oh, I'm a cheapskate. I like affordable stuff, which is good, but at the same time, I kept reiterating the notion na, oh, because I can't afford it. Oh, because I can't do this. I can't do that. Instead of, allowing myself to embrace the abundance that I can have. So parang medyo self-limiting, self-fulfilling prophecy yung sinasabi ko na, eto lang.
Right.
So,
Na
I guess,
yeah. Instead of asking yourself, why can't I afford it? Ask yourself, how can I afford it? So,
yes, totoo. Minsan our words, they're the ones who tell us, they're the ones that tell us kung ano yung kaya natin ma-achieve and ano yung
true.
willing nating i-achieve.
If you don't mind me asking, Ayin, what's your current financial goals?
My current financial goal, I guess, post quarantine is to build my emergency fund.
Mm,
Kasi ngayong quarantine, also since I moved back from Spain, when I moved back from Spain, I had to, kasi yun yung time na talaga nag-full-time ako sa business. And yung savings ko from Spain, ginastos ko na siya while I was doing the preparations to launch Morena as my own brand. And then ngayong quarantine, syempre, I'm also using up my savings. So, I want to build my emergency fund. They say na it has to be like 6 months of your income. So, I want to get to that. So, that's like my number that I want to hit again. And yeah, na-realize ko talaga during the pandemic na ito yung you need it. Everyone needs it because you never know what the
mm,
universe will throw at you. We think we're invincible, and then this happens.
right.
So, yeah, definitely that. What about you?
Ako actually same din eh. Pero emergency funds naman with businesses. So,
Mm-hmm.
kasi, oh my gosh, sobrang yun nga, na-realize ko talaga na we are not invincible at all. And you have to save up for your business to stay afloat. Ganun. Kasi ngayon, I must admit, nung nag-start mag-lockdown, sobrang na-stress ako, anxiety attacks and stuff. Kasi, wala akong pangpasweldo nung umpisa and I was starting to touch our savings already. Personal savings.
Oh,
So parang sabi ko, shucks, ayokong mangyari to ulit. So, yun nga, I really have to build the emergency fund ng businesses. So,
learning experience talaga tong
oo,
itong
sobra.
quarantine na to.
Sobra, sobra.
All right. So, now that we've set that as like a background context for our listeners, let's go to our community questions. So, on our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/camp confidence, we asked our members if they had any questions regarding our topic for today, which is budgeting. And today, we shall answer all 12 of them. So,
Ah,
medyo madami yung questions
love
natin.
it.
And so the first one is from Anne Guillaume and Mike Coanco. So medyo similar yung question sila. In investing, does it pay to invest in real estate as soon as early 20s? And kay Mai, sabi niya, what do you think is the first thing to invest on as a fresh grad? Real
Okay,
estate.
oo nga. Ako, again, personal opinion ko pa rin to.
Mm-mm.
Again. So, uh, early 20s sa pag-invest sa real estate, I don't think, oh my gosh, baka mag-bashers ako as sasabihin ko. Pero, I don't think it's a smart investment in your early 20s.
Mm-mm.
Kasi early 20s yan pa yung unstable yung income mo, unstable, hindi mo pa sure kung ano talaga yung gusto mong gawin in life. I think your early 20s should be ang tawag dito, should be utilized para sa pag-explore,
Mm-hmm.
pag-test the waters kasi alam mo yun, you can afford to lose sa early 20s mo.
That is so
Kasi wala
true.
ka pang masyadong responsibility. Kasi, yun nga, kapag nag-invest ka ng real estate, tas parang shocks, wala ka pang ang savings or wala ka pang emergency funds, tas biglang may additional responsibility ka na ng mortgage mo, and alam mo yun, parang the pressure is
Mm-hmm.
real na parang kunwari, rank and file ka pa lang sa company mo, paano mo iba-budget yun? Eh, syempre, ayaw mo naman din na hindi makabayad ang mortgage kasi masisira yung credit score mo. Ganun.
Mm-mm.
So, that's for the first question. But, yun nga, what do you think is the first thing you must invest into as a fresh grad?
Yeah,
I
so
think,
instead of real estate,
instead
anong
of real
maganda?
estate, I think you should invest in yourself. Try all the businesses you want to
Mm-hmm.
try in your early 20s. And then when you realize na parang, shocks, ito talaga yung gusto kong gawin for life, go mo na yan. So, yun talaga, yung parang you can spend and lose money in your early 20s. That's when you can afford that. And yun, kasi kapag kunwari late 20s ka na or early 30s, medyo ano na, iba na yung responsibilities. 'Di ba? So, and yun, nga,
Amen.
and mas afford mo na ma-fund yung first business mo or first passion project mo, ganyan. So, how about you?
I
What's your take on that?
agree. As someone who is freshly out of her early 20s, because I'm 25, so parang okay, mid. I really think even if I had the resources to invest in real estate in my early 20s, parang it would have been difficult. I wanted to, as in my dream was to have my own condo, pero when I think about it, my early 20s was all self investment. As in, I invested on learning courses. I invested on, yun nga, and like what Riza said a while ago, I was really experimenting on businesses. So I had like, now I have my t shirt business, which I was experimenting on like 2 years ago. And then I remember I was reselling books. I was doing all sorts of things. As in, yun talaga yung time for me to explore and understand myself better. And na I wouldn't be able to do that with the commitment of paying for mortgage.
Right.
My gosh, I can't imagine spending, alam mo yun, committing yourself to 10 to 15 years of mortgage. Tapos every month for 10 years. Tapos you make
Diba?
that decision in your early 20s. Parang it's so much na
Mm.
too early.
Tsaka,
If
ayun nga, make mistakes in your early 20s. Go
Feeling
lang.
ko talaga it's inevitable. Usually, like, pag nandun ka na sa mid to late 20s, dun ka na oh, now I need to I need to clean up the mess I made in my early 20s. So,
Totoo.
I don't know if that's true for everyone, but my personal experience is that I'm glad I didn't invest that early in real estate. At 25, I don't think I'm ready now. So buti na lang, because otherwise I would have this huge responsibility, this huge commitment na I probably would not have been able to make the decision to start my business kung meron akong ganong kailangang bayaran every month. Kasi 'di ba, like if you start a business, it's a lot of risk. And if ayun nga, siguro ang naging path ko if I had like a real estate responsibility, I probably would never have quit my desk job.
Right.
Siguro ano pa rin ako, employee. Maybe I'd be well paid, but still, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So later down the road ko na iisipin 'yun.
True. Ay, may isa pa pala akong suggestion na pwede mong pag-investan in your early 20s. It should be insurance. Get
Yes.
yourself insured kasi the younger you are, mas mura pa yung premiums.
Mm.
And isa to sa actually sa pinakamalaking balik sa'yo kasi mas mataas yung percentage compared to time deposits or mga ganyan sa
Yeah.
banks. So you have to talk to your financial advisor friends. They are the best people you can talk to in terms of, ayun nga, savings, investments, health funds, and your
Yeah.
retirement funds talaga. So,
Usually kasi iniiwasan, 'di ba? Like we tend to avoid that conversation with our financial advisor friends, but
oo.
it's actually very enlightening.
Oo.
So get that opportunity.
Yeah, tsaka ano, it's very ano ba, it's very affordable. Tsaka ano talaga, they will really help you sa
Mhm.
financial freedom niya in the future. Going to our next question from Christian Erlayese. What are good banks for just saving your money? Yung tipong lagay ka lang ng lagay and you don't withdraw it. What banks do you use for your online shops?
Ay, ni-research ko 'to kasi hindi ko 'to alam. So I was looking through like the top banks for savings accounts, blah blah blah.
Mm-mm.
Tapos ano, well, according to grit.ph, this was updated April 2020, so pretty recent. According to them, number one is BDO Unibank. And more than, having access to a lot of ATMs, the banks are, readily accessible sa mga SM malls. But also they have the BDO Optimum Savings Account Personal, and the interest rate is 1.25%, which like compared to a lot is bigger. But anyway, yun yung number one ranking. If you want to check it out, you can head to grit.ph. Yeah, may resource ako because I don't know enough to have an opinion on it.
Ako naman, I use ING for my savings.
Mm.
Phone app na
Yeah,
bank din,
I
online
recently
banking.
heard about
Tapos
that.
meron silang promo ngayon. At ang alam ko hanggang July lang to July 2020 na may 4% gross per annum.
Really?
So, mataas talaga siya compared to other banks na 0.5 to
Yeah,
1.95
yeah.
lang. So, lahat ng ano ba, hindi naman lahat ng savings kasi iba-ibang banks talaga yung savings ko. But, yun nga, naglalagay ako sa ING para dun sa 4% gross per annum.
Search ko
Gross.
nga.
Gross pala, sorry. Gross.
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 Gross. Ew. Ew,
4% gross.
money.
Yung money dirty. Charot. Ano, so yun, 4% gross per annum siya. So you can check it out. May online banking din. So yung BPI ko, automatic siyang nagta-transfer sa ING.
Oh,
You can
nice.
also set that up.
Yung sa online shopping, do
Ako,
you use anything
online
different?
shopping, ako PayPal talaga para may buyer protection, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you purchase 1,000 worth 1,000 and up, may buyer protection talaga. So if you need a refund,
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc. And I also use GCash for my Lazada and Shopee. It's so easy kasi pwede mo nang i-link yung GCash doon. Tas may G-Forest pa siya. Yun talaga yung favorite ko sa
What's
GCash.
G-Forest?
So when so when you
Not
transfer,
sponsored, by the way.
yes, not hashtag not sponsored. Ayan. So when you transfer or deposit or receive money, you get this um, G Forest energy. So when you collect a certain number of G Forest energy, you can plant a tree in real life.
Really?
Yes.
What? I
Bongga.
didn't know that.
Malapit na akong makapuno for one puno.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. So how
Okay.
about you? What do you use?
Ako, I use a bunch of different things. So like for paying my online subscriptions, they're on PayPal. Hindi ko alam, parang meron kasi, hindi ko alam, parang may divisor yung payments ko. PayPal for like international. Yung mga before I had like my own credit card, ganun. So Spotify, ganyan. And then sila sa PayPal, website subscription. Tapos, I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for it. But I guess yun kasi yung before I had a credit card. Yun yung pwede ko gamitin. Tapos, it was out of convenience. Pero now, I'm actually switching to... Did you know that Grab has their own mobile wallet thing?
Ano pwede ka na grab, what do you call
Grab
grab
Pay.
pay? Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So originally, I thought it was just for transportation. Akala ko ganun lang siya. So now, apparently, it's just like a little bit like GCash. So you can pay Grab food and then you can shop online with it. And then they now have like a Grab a digital card. So parang na rin
Cool.
siyang credit card. So I like it because it's an app, and to me, like paying with my phone is easy
Right.
bilang taong phone ako. Tapos
Mhm.
ayun, na ano ko rin siya, nagulat ako na ang convenient niya rin. Kasi nga, cash person din ako. Like, I try to do
Very
cash
good.
on delivery as much as possible. But since lately, we've been trying to look for more options to do everything virtually. Yeah. Uh, what do you call this? Grab Pay. Grab Pay is
Grabe.
something that I've been exploring
I'll check that out.
recently.
Sige.
Mm-hmm. Next question is from TJ Ovivir. As students before, how did you smartly budget your money using them for both academics and leisure? Back to student days. I love
I
this
love
question.
it. Ako kasi, to be honest, hindi talaga ako binibigyan ng baon dati. I swear. Lagi kong sinasabi yung dati na ba't hindi niyo ako binibigyan ng perang pangbaon. Tapos parang gusto kasi ng mom ko na home-cooked meals talaga yung kainin
Yeah.
ko. Tapos hinahatid sundo nila ako. Tapos, nung college kasi, I graduated from an international university. So,
Mm.
as in yung mga tao talaga doon, super duper yaman, no BS. Pero kasi ako, academic scholar ako doon. So,
Which
this
university is this?
Southville Foreign University.
Ah, okay.
Tapos as in talaga lahat ng mga classmates ko doon, anak ng governor, merong mga anak ng datu. Alam mo yun, parang lahat mga mayaman talaga sila. And the elite talaga. Pero alam mo, um, yun nga, na-realize ko din na once you have that amount of money, sobrang bait nila. I swear. As in,
Ah.
to the highest level na bait na akala ko dati nung pagpasok ko doon, pag panda ballpen lang yung gamit ko, yuyurakin nila ako. Ganun.
Wala
But no,
namang pake, no?
ganun pala talaga. When you reach that certain point, sobrang bait.
Sanay na. Oh, it's
Pe
okay.
Pero yeah, pero nawala na ako sa context ng tanong. Yun nga, nililibre lang nila ako lagi ng lunch. Minsan parang mas gusto nila yung baon ko, ta's akin na lang yung baon mo, ganyan. Tapos bibilhan nila
Magpapalit.
ako ng lunch, ganyan. Pero dun ko rin talaga na-realize na ano, wala, you really have to be kind to everyone, ganyan, ganyan. Pero anyway, yun nga, budgeting. Siguro, mas masasagot ko lang 'to nung start na akong nagka-work, eh. Kasi technically during my
Even
entire
college?
college, even college, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Talaga gano'n ka-strict ang mga pudrakels at pudrakels. So yeah, budgeting, yun nga. How I wish yun nga sabi ko kanina, how I wish I had resources and podcasts for budgeting nung early 20s ko. But no, I was spending too much. Hindi ko talaga masasagot etong
Mm.
question na to kasi I was spending too much. I didn't budget dahil feeling ko dapat ang reward ko sa sarili ko for a hard day's work is a nice bag or a nice
Oh.
na parang
Mm.
grabe talaga ako mag-spend nun na beyond my means na talaga. And it's not healthy. But as someone who's in her late 20s na, I suggest na please start budgeting. Um, you can maybe follow the 50-30-20 rule of saving na 50% is for your expenses, 30% is for unforeseen expenditures, and 20% for your savings. Yun siguro yung masasabi ko.
Mm.
How about
Ako,
you? How did you budget?
naalala ko when I was in college, weekly yung allowance ko. So every week, every Monday, dun ako makakuha ng money. Tapos I need to make it last until the end of the week. Now, natatawa ako kasi before, nung high school ako, every day. So may baon ako every day. Tapos, if may natira, edi I'll save it. Kasi bukas naman, I'll get another set. I'll get my allowance for the next day. Eh, pagka-college, so naging weekly na ako, a little more responsibility. Oh my gosh, first, okay, Monday, Korean barbecue. pagdating ko ng Friday, siomai rice na lang ako kasi hindi ko na-afford. Or halimbawa, kukuha ako sa pantry namin ng ano, ng snacks kasi
Wow.
hindi ko na kaya. Hindi naabot yung pera ko. Yun talaga yung worry ko. Tas I drove to school. So, ako magbabayad ng gas, ako magbabayad ng parking fee. So, kasama 'yun lahat sa budget ko. So, pagka nag out of budget ako, wala na talaga ako pagdating ng
Goodbye.
Friday.
Oo.
Oo. So, what I would do is, number one, kasi nga, I'm a cash person. So, I physically will leave my extra money at home para hindi ko siya dala sa school.
Mhm.
Kasi pagka, when you have it, when you physically have it, ang dali sabihin na, oh, I can spend today, bawiin ko na lang yung isi-save ko bukas. And then you make a habit out of it, and then you don't get to do it until you're put in a tight spot, ganyan.
True.
So ako, I did follow like not the 50-30-20 rule kasi wala akong foresight. Pero what I did was like half of it itatabi ko, tapos titipirin ko talaga yung, kasi food yung medyo negotiable sa akin eh.
Mhm.
Kasi syempre gas fixed yun eh, parking fixed yun. Pero yung food ko, negotiable siya. So, hindi ako kakain dun sa mga magagandang restaurant sa UST. I'll do that like once a week.
Mhm.
Pero most of the time, I would eat like shawmai rice or rice topping sa mini stop, which I enjoyed actually. Tsaka yung feeling na dumating ako Friday and then I have savings, I'm like, yes! So, I guess I set targets for myself rin. Tapos itatabi ko siya physically. So, I don't have to deal with the temptation of spending it. Ayan. Ayun.
Right. Oo nga. Ako din talaga physically gusto kong nakikita na may natatabi ako,
Iba yung
ganyan.
power, no? Na you hold it in your hand.
Yes, exactly. Tapos parang sobrang motivating pa niya. Parang, oh my gosh, ang dami ko nang ipon. Pero kahit ko 100 lang siya, di ba? So, yun. Oo nga, very, very important din na. Ako, very visual person kasi ako eh.
Mhm.
So, now going to our next question from Nikki Napalang. Which should you invest in first? Your own place or your own car?
Good question. I guess it depends on your lifestyle. So, for example, I guess if you're a freelancer like me and I work from home, the car is not as big of a necessity, especially with the availability of angkas and Grab. Pero, ayun nga, nagbabago nga yung landscape. So,
Mm-hmm.
maybe having a car is becoming more and more of a necessity than having your own place. But I guess, yeah, it depends on your priority, I
Right.
suppose. Like, why do you need your own place? Is it because you want to move closer to the center? Do you need your own place to work? In that case, kung mag-move ka sa center with your own place, would you still need a car then? Or kaya mo na lakarin lahat? Yung mga, I guess, those questions.
Right. Oo nga. Ako naman sa ngayon, hindi kasi sa akin priority yung house or car ngayon kasi I'd really like to invest my money back to the business. And I
Mhm.
can say na as of now, I am not ready for that yet.
Mhm.
Kasi yun nga, laging sinasabi sa akin to ni Josh na I'd rather invest in my farm before I build my house.
That is so
So,
good. Mhm.
yeah, so something parang invest or prioritize something na meron ka munang makukuhang financial resources first before mo ikulong yung money mo sa isang property or isang investment na walang mabibigay na money
Yeah.
sa'yo. So if
Mhm.
you are financially capable enough to do that, then go ahead and invest on a car or on for your own place. But again, tama si Ayin na sabi niya na you also have to ask the kind of you have to assess the kind of lifestyle that you have. Kung um, house ba muna ang uunahin ko or a car, ganyan.
That is so
So,
enlightening to me because I feel like that's also been my question. Kasi I've been so fixated on wanting to have my own place.
Mhm.
Kasi meron nga akong ano, meron akong boundary
Yeah,
stuff
oo,
na
oo.
I deal with. Like, since I moved abroad last year, so I was living by myself for a year. So it's been a real struggle having to, move back and not have my own place. So parang I kept thinking about, oh, I should have my own house. And syempre, when I look at other influencers on Instagram, on YouTube, it's like, wow, they have their own place, they have their life together. It's like, to me, parang naging quantifier yung having your own place
Yeah,
to tell you if you're successful or not. So I've been obsessing over that. But then you're right. I should be putting my money back somewhere that will help me grow it.
right.
In that case, when I do decide to have my own place, it's not something that I will be worrying about because the money
Yeah.
will be flowing in
Mhm.
anyway.
Tsaka you won't, ano ba, you won't settle for less if you have the financial freedom already. Kasi kapag ngayon na hindi ka pa financially stable,
Yes.
you'll settle for, ah, eto na lang kasi ito yung afford ko ngayon. So,
Oh,
can you just imagine you have your own financial freedom and you can really choose the kind of house that you like.
that you
Kasi
really, really, really
yeah, oo,
want.
yung gusto mo talaga, dream house mo, 'di ba? Kasi yun nga, at the end of the day, if you purchase your own house nang hindi ka pa ready, you have to think about the taxes. You have to think about the maintenance. You have to think about your mortgage. Yeah, and also, ang pagbili ng bahay, shucks. Pagbili ng bahay is a step, but furniture is, oh my God, ang tindi ng
Furnishing.
expense. Furnishings, oh my gosh, nung kakalipat lang namin dito sa house namin, hindi ko na imagine na aabot pala ng 700 pesos yung magandang kortina.
Kurtina lang.
Yeah, I was so grateful for, parang ang dami palang ginastos ng mom ko, for example, sa current
Oo.
house namin, ganyan. So, yeah, you also have to think about that and ask yourself, are you financially ready for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these
Ayun.
things are actually, they're gonna give you more things to pay.
Mm.
Even car, kasi car, you have to think about the maintenance. What if it breaks down? You're gonna have to get that fixed. And then gas, and then car wash. It's ang dami, parking space. So when you have the financial freedom, then you can deal with all of those without, having without risking your income and your stability. So yeah, medyo yun muna. Yun, ang priority muna is your farm talaga.
Yes, your farm. Correct.
Next question is from Jasmine Martin. How do you plan on determining how much money you should save and spend?
Ako,
Saving and spending.
before I spend, I make sure I save first.
Mm-hmm.
So, usually kasi, di ba, ang formula natin dati is, from my salary, I get my current expenses, and then I get my leisure, and then yung tira, savings ko na lang yun.
Yeah, kung ano na lang, whatever's left.
Yeah, but ang advice ng professionals and what I currently do right now is from my income, I get at least 20% for my savings. 30%, I follow the 50-30-20 rule pa rin. So, 20% for my savings, 30% for unforeseen events, and then 50% goes back to my expenses.
Mm-hmm.
20% expenses ba sabi ko o 20% savings? I can't remember. Sorry. But 20% savings, 30% unforeseen events, and 50% for your personal or corporate expenses. Yan.
Yeah.
Ganun kami ngayon.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's parang the standard rule we usually read sa mga financial magazines, videos, articles, ganyan. But I think one more step na I wish I had done earlier, like way, way earlier, being able to determine my expenses every month. Kasi, ayun nga, that's something na hindi ko ang weird ng transition going from like student to adult na I didn't know yung mga simpleng bagay like how much I'm gonna be spending on food, yung mga alis mo with friends, yung mga um mga non-negotiables like phone bill, gas, commute expenses, tapos business, kung meron ka mang i-invest sa business mo, those things, I would take that out of my savings. So,
Yeah.
imagine, imbes na meron akong set every month, and this is what I'm gonna save every month, ang gagawin ko before is, okay, this is all the money I have. Bayaran ko, whatever. And then I don't list them down. But it's so
Yeah.
important to list them down and document everything. Because you don't really see it until it stares you in the face and not add mo siya talaga. I
True.
think it's a step that we tend to underestimate and skip. At least I did. Tapos, ayun, when I started really, I spent like an entire month documenting everything to the last cent. And that's when I saw the breakdown of what I've been spending my money on. And it turns out it's food. Yung mga alis-alis with friends,
Same.
hindi ko alam na ganun pala ako gumastos ng pa-snack-snack sa McDo,
Mm,
ganyan. But ayun. So you get to determine your savings and spending when you actually know your cash flow. You know
yeah.
how much money is going in and out of your wallet. Yeah.
Totoo. I also list every single expense that I have. Niloloko ako ni Josh na, oh, kahit bumili lang ako ng candy, up to the last cent, i-record mo yan. Tapos parang, ano rin, na-realize, yun nga, it's really, really important to list your expenses kasi kahit maliit lang yan, for example, isang Mentos or Tic Tac, barya-barya lang yan sa umpisa, but when that piles up, ang mahal pala. Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
So yun.
Naalala ko nung sinabi mo barya-barya. Naalala ko yung feeling ng may hawak ng barya. Namimiss ko na.
Oo nga.
What does it feel to hold a 5 peso coin?
Totoo.
Ang tagal ko na hindi lumalabas ang bahay.
BH. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Okay. So anyway, next question na tayo. From Alexandria de La Paz. Any recommended apps for budgeting or managing money na available to download here sa Philippines? Anong
Ah,
current app mo ngayon?
Moneyfy. Do you know about Moneyfy? Moneyfy. Moneyfy. Um,
Yeah.
it's so simple. The interface is super intuitive. Para lang nagka-calculator ka. So savings, expenses. Ayun. It's so easy. You guys should check it out.
Yeah.
What about
Ako
you?
naman, money manager money lover yung gamit ko for my personal finances. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
easy lang yun. Parang iba-ibang banks, pwedeng makonect mo talaga yung mga banks mo doon.
Oh
And then
wow.
when you spend, parang
Mhm.
ibabawas talaga niya doon sa parang nakalagay na bank account mo. Yeah. And then it's so cute kasi wala lang.
Is it a
Parang,
paid app?
no.
Oh
It's
wow.
free. But for my business, I use Money Manager kasi nakaka-extract siya ng Excel file. So, hindi na nahihirapan yung sa accounting department namin na
Mm.
parang, kasi ako pa rin naman ang naglilist ng expenses. So, doon
Oo.
niya makikita kasi mas marami, accounting, marketing, etc., office supplies, blah, blah, blah. Kasi for Money Lover, it's very simple. But for
Mm.
Money Manager, it also has paid app to, though. Um,
Mm.
na pwede kang mag-extract ng Excel sheet. So, from there, pwede na siyang gumawa ng reports niya, blah, blah, blah.
I
So,
love it. Hmm. There you go. Now, next question is from Princess Escaran. What are your strategies for saving money on your trips, studies, business, etc.?
uh, ako, different bank accounts talaga. Dati, different envelopes.
Yes,
Kasi gusto ko
ginagawa ko pa rin yun
physical
too.
na nakita. Pero ngayon kasi, ah, oo, different bank accounts na. So, different for emergency funds, different for my business account, or personal savings, ganyan. So,
Mm-hmm.
how about you?
I think, yeah, it's more or less the same for me kasi meron akong untouchable bank account, ganyan. Like, if I put money there, I can't touch it. I can't withdraw it, ganyan. I guess it just gives me a more visual idea of where my money is and how much I have for which category of my life. Parang ganon. So, yeah, it's more or less the same. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. But how do you actually motivate yourself to save up for something na gustong-gusto mo talaga? This is actually a question from Anina Miguel.
Ako, ano bang last ko na halimbawa yung camera ko, when I paid for my camera, um I track it. As in, I track it. I have like monthly milestones. Halimbawa, okay, this month I need to be putting away 5,000 pesos for this. And then by the time na okay, ito yung target deadline ko na by my birthday, I want to be able to buy that for myself. So, it's very encouraging because I have a timeline, I have a target, and just seeing it, it's like a game. It's like an online game na I get to see, okay, I'm every month na reach ko siya, ganyan. Tapos yun.
Ako, I have a money journal. Ang arte, di
I
ba?
love,
So,
is it
so
like a
I
bullet journal?
Medj, pero hindi kasi ako gano'n ka-art, I mean, yung na-i-imagine ko sa isip ko, iba yung nado-drawing ko. So,
Okay.
so yun, it's very, very simple. Yun nga, may money journal ako, meron akong goals for, kanwari, I want a cordless vacuum. So, di ba, very
Napaka,
much tita.
napaka-tita. I
Very
love
much
it.
teeth. Yes. So I wanted to save up for a cordless vacuum. I will put it on my money journal. Ilalagay ko yung photo, magpiprint ako ng maliit na photo ng cordless vacuum ko, tapos ilalagay ko yung value. Tapos, I'll break it down into, depende kung ilang, kasi ang tagal ko nang kina-contemplate kung bibili ba ako ng cordless vacuum or not. It took me, siguro, ewan ko, 5 months, 4 months. Kasi parang
Mhm.
nung una hindi ko ma-justify, pero parang, okay, sige, fine, I gave in. Kasi yung mga kalaban niyang cordless vacuum is parang mga nasa times 3 or 4. Sobrang kuripot, no? So, yun, I break it down into smaller amounts. So, siguro mga tig to 2,000, ganyan. Tapos, every week, I will save up 2,000 for that. Tapos, i-color ko siya, i-highlighter ko yung naitabi kong money. Tapos, so yun nga, it's very motivating and encouraging na parang, kailangan ko na mag-save this week. May color na ako ulit. So, yun. I also, put it on my calendar na parang, pay
Mm-mm.
yourself first. Ganon. So,
Yes.
then parang ma-reminder siya sa akin na, you've been working so hard. You have to, tawag dito,
Treat
kailangan
yourself.
treat yourself. Ganyan. Ikaw, how about you?
Yung mga motivation ng save up for what I really like. It's I don't think I have a hard time doing that kasi if I really really want something, because I rarely like something enough for me to be spending a lot of money on it, kasi usually I'm more of a travel person. Like if I want to go on a trip, I'll really save up for that. But like physical, like a material thing, it has to be like something significant that's gonna be life changing. So ayun, I don't know, hindi ako masyado makarelate sa sa yung like usually yung mga gusto kong bilhin I need, for example, my cell phone right now I bought 5 years ago and it's still the same phone, as in this
Ang
is
saya.
Galaxy Note 5 na I bought in 2015. Yeah, oh my god, 5 years. As in, this was from my very first job. As in my very, very first job in college na una kong binili. Tapos, it wasn't a matter of convincing myself na to to eventually get it. It was more like it's an investment for myself. So, if I like it enough and if it's an investment as well for the future, then I make it a point to put aside money for it kasi may return din naman. As in yung ROI netong cellphone na to. Balik na balik na balik na siya sa
Diba?
akin.
Ang saya. Ako din parang hindi naman din ako masyado ma-phone, ma-gadgets. As long as it's working and it
Yeah,
and it serves its purpose, okay na ako doon. Tsaka,
carry
eto
that.
pa pala, meron akong Google Keep ng
I love Google Keep. Oo nga pala,
parang
napag-usapan natin 'to.
things I want in the future. Kapag kunwari kasi parang spur of the moment, parang, ay, shucks, gusto ko punta na ako ng Lazada, buy na to. Hindi. Nilalagay ko muna siya dun sa things I like in the
Mhm.
future. And then, babalikan ko siya after a month. If I still like it, I probably have to buy it. Parang ganon. Kasi
Yeah.
parang minsan urge lang talaga siya na, ay, gusto
Mm.
ko tong shirt na to kasi nakita ko sa ganitong friend ko, ganyan yan. Pero hindi pala. Parang papalipasin ko lang yung excitement ko muna.
Oo.
And then, after a month, if I'm still excited about it, panibagong assessment ulit. Can I afford it? Do I really need this? Ganun. May mga ganong questions. So,
Isa pang strategy for me, what I do is I add to cart and then I exit. As in, I try to forget about it. And then when I go back to the website, tapos nakita ko andun pa siya sa cart ko. Tapos I'm like, do I still feel as strongly about this? Do I still feel like I need to buy it? If yes, then I'll go buy it. If no, then I can easily exit. Mas madaling mag-no kapag naka-relax ka na and kalma ka na.
totoo. Hindi ka sobrang excited.
Next question from Kay de Guzman. How do you deal with sudden change of expenses, especially during the pandemic?
Ayun nga, you really have to build your emergency fund. Kasi lalo na ngayon, talagang lahat gulat. As in
Mm,
lahat ng savings. Kasi we didn't really expect na in 2020 magkakaganito yung mundo, 'di ba? So,
yeah,
yeah, it's really really smart to start building your emergency funds right now kasi just in case wag naman sana may mangyari ulit. At least meron kang mapaghuhugutan ng money.
yeah. Mm-mm. Ako, with this sudden change of expenses, ang pinakauna kong ginagawa is I assess all of my current expenses. So, subscriptions. Kasi usually, hindi natin alam na, oh, I've been paying for this. I forgot. Kasi connected na siya sa apps natin, connected na siya sa bank accounts natin. So, recurring na yung payment. So, we sometimes forget na, oh my gosh, I've been paying for this photo editing app for the last year. Or like Spotify. So, what are the stuff na you can live without? And during an emergency like this, then maybe you can rethink if it's something that you really need. And then, ayun, bilang as a kuripot person, ito yung feeling ko, helpful naman ako kahit paano.
Oo.
ano, ano pa ba? Hustling, like side hustles during emergency, maganda to tap into your other skills na you could monetize. So, for example, I could go back to social media management. I stopped doing that kasi nga I've been doing my own business for a while, for a couple of months. Pero halimbawa, during the pandemic, I need to find another source of income. I could go back to social media management or freelance writing in case hindi ko na kaya financially. So, ganon. Like, have a bunch of other income streams na you could go back to in case.
Speaking of emergency funds, though, how may anong tips natin for students building emergency funds? This is a question from Arian Maranon.
Students. Students kasi, syempre very limited yung ano eh, they're busy with school, tapos hindi ka naman, wala masyadong time to, and hindi masyado flexible in terms of the financial situation kasi enough lang siya. Usually, it's just enough for you to get to school, to go back from school, and then eat in between. Pero I guess, for me, it was helpful nung I started working part-time. I worked part-time in college. I worked for Red Bull. I don't know if you've seen those girls na nasa Mini Cooper. Nakita mo na ba yun,
Ah,
Riza?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. Oo, oo,
So
oo.
the students, the girls who drive the Mini Cooper and go around to give Red Bull to people and sa events, ganyan. I was one of those girls when I was in
Oh,
college. It was
hustler
such
na
a
talaga,
fun
'di
job.
ba?
Oo, sobrang enjoy na enjoy ko yun. So,
Mm.
actually, irregular student ako ng college. So, I had more free time during my last year. Tapos dun ko siya na-start. Dun ako nag-start kumita.
Mm.
Kaya yung kung ano mang, syempre, I had enough na allowance ko for food, for yung normal expenses. Pero other than that, yung mga gusto ko na talaga i-save, yung money na itatabi ko na, kinuha ko siya from my part-time work. And
Mm-hmm.
ayun, I think a lot of students think na hindi sila pwede kumita while studying, but it's actually possible. So with the internet, you guys can use yung mga previous episodes namin na we talked about side hustles. You can do it
Yes.
even if you're still in school. So maybe that. What about you, Riza?
Yeah,
Anong tip mo?
I also completely agree with the side hustles. Ever since talaga kung ano-ano na rin yung binebenta ko. Um, ewan ko, parang elementary pa lang ata ako, nagbebenta na ako ng kung ano-ano, nagbabayad ako para i-burn yung CD ng songs, ng
I
mga,
love
nagpapabayad ako per CD sa pag-burn ng ano, ng music. And then, yeah, oo nga, for emergency fund, aside from saving your allowances, you really have to be creative with the side hustles and play with your strengths.
mhm.
Yeah,
Daming options. Pwede kang mag-resell ng books, resell ng cookies, mag-bake ka, magluto. Ang
totoo.
dami. Mhm.
Tsaka pwede mo pang hingin yung mga pang-bake sa mommy. Sa parents. Ayan.
Ayan. Okay, next question is from Jen Fernandez. As freelancers or entrepreneurs, how do you manage your finances and improve cash flow since income is not fixed? Ayan yung fluctuating income.
Mm. Yeah, managing finances again, I record every single expense that I have para at least meron din akong forecast kung ano ba yung magiging unforeseen expenses ko in the future, and I have to build my savings around that. But improving cash flow since income is not fixed, ano, I have different streams of income talaga.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi talaga ako fan in putting all of my eggs in one basket. So
Yes.
I have to, ano ba, I have to be creative nga with different streams of income for my business. Si Josh, may logistics siya. Tapos, I also invested on my insurance then. So, in case something happens to me, wag naman sana. At least merong makukuhang money yung family ko or yung husband ko. Banks, I also save inside the bank. So, at least may mga annual income yon. Speaking engagements, ano pa ba? YouTube.
YouTube.
Charot lang. I just recently got monetized.
I
So,
love
I
it!
already
Congrats!
have $3 in my
Woohoo! Uy,
so it's a
grabe yun,
start. So,
ha.
pwede na siyang stream of income in
Mhm.
time.
Yeah,
And
yung naalala ko yung first stretch na you get monetized. Ah,
saya.
congrats!
Thank you. How about you?
Ako,
Ay,
I definitely agree diversifying your income is so important because you never know which one is gonna falter or is gonna fluctuate. So, ako naman, I have Morena, so that's like my active income. And then I have YouTube, which is passive. So I guess it's super important to have something na passive because hindi ka binabayaran for your time with your passive income.
mhm,
So, halimbawa, ano ka, um, you're a YouTuber and then you have videos from like 4 years ago, they're gonna keep earning you
right.
money. So the more you do it, it's the more money you're gonna get later on. Na it's gonna pay off eventually, which is to me helpful. Syempre kasi I can't always be working on all of my projects and expect money to come in. It's really hard na pag ang bayad sa'yo is yung oras mo. So, ano pa bang example na to? If you have like a drop shipping, what we talked about earlier, like drop shipping, it's more or less passive since you don't have the products with you.
Right.
So parang if you diversify your source of income that way, na meron kang active na work and then may passive income ka, in case something falters, meron pa rin cash flow.
Totoo.
Yun, like what we said last week, when you monetize your skill set, in the ano ba, like if you create a webinar for example, I
Mm-hmm.
I noticed ang daming gumagawa. So yung mga courses, if you have paid courses, that can be passive income. You could be earning and not doing anything at the moment. Ayun, this it's also another way to promote yourself. If you're a
Exactly.
freelancer, an expert in something, you could be promoting your service while at the same time earning because they're paying for it.
Right.
So, ayun, I guess it's you should really have more than three things that you're
Oo.
earning from. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to make sure, right?
Wala tayo ng privilege ng employed na
Mm, yun yung
every month this
pinakamahirap
is what
din
you're gonna
talaga.
get. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, anyway, for our last question, last but not the least, it's from Pauline Remulia. How much should I save for my fixed income from employment, and how many percent should I save from income in business?
Ako before, kasi as a previously employed person and starter sa business, ako ang ginagawa ko, all of my expenses, my living expenses, and so the typical 50-30-20, I get that from my employment as in, kasi fixed yun eh. So every month I get that, every month this is how much I'm gonna spend and I'm gonna save. So everything na the whole point of me having a day job before was so I could have that fixed thing, that stable income. So dun ko kinukuha lahat ng gastos ko. Now, anything I earn sa business, I invest it back to the business or I save it. Kasi yun yung especially when you're starting out, yun yung fluctuating eh. You don't know what's gonna happen, especially the first shaky months of the business. So I really cling on to my employment salary, my employee salary for me to spend, to live. And the business will be a completely different thing. That's like not my money, that's the business's money.
Mhm.
So ayun. What about you, Riza? Do you remember back from when you were still an
Oh, super
employee?
duper back then. Oo nga, ganun. 50-30-20 rule din ako before. Nung medyo na-realize ko na, shocks, hindi, kailangan ko pala mag-save, hindi pala, dapat
Mm.
waldas lang ng waldas every time. So, yun, I did the 50-30-20 rule for my, yun nga, employee money. But then, when I started doing the business, as in talaga kasi lahat ng savings ko from employment, nilagay ko talaga all in talaga sa business.
OMG.
And then, it's been like that for the past 2 years. And finally, nung late 2019, medyo nasisweldohan ko na yung sarili ko from the company. So, I'm happy for that. Finally, meron
Yeah.
na akong sweldo. But everything else, I invest back to the
Mm-hmm.
company. Kasi yun talaga eh, you really have to spend and invest money towards your company kasi that's how you grow
Mm-hmm.
talaga. So,
Sino pa bang number one investor mo but yourself?
yes, definitely.
Yay, we're done with our questions. So now we move on to our gems of the week. So resources
Yes.
that we want to share, readings, videos, podcasts that we want to recommend to our listeners. Meron ka ba on the topic of finances?
Ako for finance, I have YouTubers for
Yeah, ako
finance.
din
So,
actually YouTuber si Ana.
first is si Asia Dang. If you know
Yes.
Asia Dang, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, grabe. Isa siyang YouTuber na as in solid, sinishare niya lahat ng budget niya. As in to the last cent. Sinishare
Yeah,
niya with everyone. Pinopost niya yung mga budget na for the entire month. Tapos parang yung frustrations niya with her debt sa,
student
what do you call,
loans.
student loans, yes. Tapos alam mo ba, nung finally, nag-post siya ng video na I am debt free. Umiiyak talaga ako. Parang I was so proud of her. So, if you are looking for a YouTuber na very, very relatable and may mga tips and tricks din talaga siya for finances,
Mm-hmm.
follow Aja Dang on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tapos, second channel would be The Financial Diet.
Oh my gosh,
It's
parang tayo
also
yung pinapanood.
'Di ba? Sobrang sobrang anong tawag dito, educational siya and parang
Mm.
ma-realize mo na, "Oh my God, oo nga 'no, ba't hindi ko ba 'to ginagawa?"
Yeah.
So, mga tips about being smart about your credit card, how to build your emergency funds, etc., etc. So, I think yun, in terms of finance, yung
Yeah.
marirecommend
Ang
ko.
inspiring din, both of them, Asia and The Financial Diet. Kasi yung creators, yung people behind those channels, as in, they came from bad places in their financial lives. As in, talagang they had to rebuild their credit score. They had to rebuild their savings. Kasi nga, again, they messed up in their early 20s. And then, bowing-bawi naman ngayon. So, ako, yung one of my gems was also the financial diet. Kasi, very digestible yung content nila na ang dali talaga intindihin na for someone who was really intimidated sa topic ng finance, it was so helpful for me to understand these concepts na I thought I would never understand. And then my second gem is, do you know Graham Stefan on YouTube?
No,
So
no.
he's a millionaire. Pag nakikita mo yung mga video, may mga videos siya na millionaire reacting to blah blah blah. So he would react to episodes ng, was it, I think it was Glamour. Alimbawa,
Mm-hmm.
ano, what a person who has 64,000 like a 64K income in Los Angeles, how they spend their money. Parang ganun. He would make reaction videos to those. Tapos, ang dami niyang advice and tips. And what I like about Graham is he is super down to earth. As in, he's a real estate investor in his late 20s. Tapos he's a millionaire, as in like American dollars millionaire. And yung income niya, he made it by investing on real estate, renting out property, and then talking about those on YouTube. Wala lang. I like his attitude, and I like that he makes being a millionaire seem very attainable. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Camp Confidence Radio. Please don't forget to share and tag us on Instagram at Camp Confidence Radio if you're tuned in.
And if you want to be part of our future episodes, you can join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/Camp Confidence to join discussions and to submit community questions.
You can also follow me, Ayin, at Ayin Bernos, and at Morena the Label on Instagram.
And I am Rizza at Lana at lana.ph at mink.ph on Instagram. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye!